Hello, farmers, and welcome back to another episode on Grizzly Mountain. I think we're up to the fourth one here. And I did a lot of work off camera. If you were watching the last episode, a little bit of a tank farm here, I guess you could call it. Spent a good amount of our money. If you notice, you can. I really like it. It gets a little expensive if you get nitpicky. Like I made the grass kind of nice around the house. I don't know if you consider that nice, but sort of logical. I came up here to so we now have a sheep building. I don't really have any grass to feed the sheep, so we're going to wait until this field turns colors on us. Starts making some grass. I guess we might even end up taking half of the field and tedding it, and then take the other half and maybe turn it to grass. So, but in any event, here is some sheep. I kind of made it so that the roads were sort of, somewhat logical, where you're pulling down here on a bit of a road, and at this point, no road going this way, but eventually I'll probably have one that goes there. I left a big space here, assuming I didn't mess it up. This should be enough room to put a large cow pasture. And then over here should be enough room to put, in this area, we should be able to put a large pig enclosure. This is just a space for future development. I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll have to, I put a couple of I just put this up just so we had some place to put some of the stuff. And then obviously I got a house over here. I figured it, I think when we ended the last video, it looked like I was going to put it here, but really kind of a pain to get it on this hill in any way that made a ton of sense. Plus, this gives us a little flexibility for, potentially even putting more stuff up here. And heck, it fit kind of nicely right in this corner. You'll see. I mean, I didn't modify the river at all, other than what it did when it put the house down. But it did fit and liked it. And this building, same kind of deal. It modified the river a bit, but I didn't do it deliberately. It just let me kind of put it there. So be a place we can put our smaller stuff, tractors and whatnot. I didn't put everything away yet, but a bunch of it's still sitting out there. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. You can extend the gravel. Obviously, I don't know about dirt roads versus gravel, but I put a nice apron here. That was as much to say that stone is a little bit different texture, but this is more like asphalt. The other is more like stone. So, and I think I did say a horse paddock would fit right in this area. I'm not sure where it would end, but this kind of road here sort of designates where the horse paddock would be over here. So that gives us room for all the animals. And obviously we got our silo. From the last time when we had a video, I sort of changed it a bit. So instead of having it, if you watch the last video, you'll see, had it this way with the dump. Sort of makes sense if you look down the road. It's, off the road. Eventually I may, depending on what I put here, we may make a little extra driveway piece right here where you would cut in and come in this way, I like it. So that means all of our grain and our grass and hay barn and all the other stuff like that will be relatively close to where all four of our animals are. There we go. So pretty happy with that. So the next thing to do is to probably get out here. We got a lime tower now, so I filled up our tractor with lime, and it's sitting out on the field. For those of you who haven't used the GPS, here, let me jump over there. I should probably warn you before I start jumping. Let's zoom back out a little bit. Doesn't matter whether this is out, but so I'll even show you. So if we come in here, the goofy thing is if I come here and just do north-south, which is the direction I want, so I guess that's not so goofy. It'll change this width to whatever I saved it as, but if I do auto width, it just changed it to 18. It's a little different because I know with the old GPS, you used to have the thing unfolded sometimes, if I'm remembering right. And if you get panicked, just hit the forward button a little bit. So see how it, I don't know if you can see those orange dots and white dots, but trust me, they're there. I'm going to hit Alt, page down. Nope, I always get that wrong. Alt, page up. I'm going to move it to the left. It doesn't seem to me like it's move it to the left. I think it's move it in position to the map. But whatever. Maybe I'm just wrong. And so we'll back up. I think I'm ready to go with this, right? I mean, we definitely need lime. And back up a little extra. Hit the Y on my controller, which I think it's Control X or Alt X. Anyway, you can map that to your controller if you use such a thing. Just like you could in the old days. Alright, so I'm ready to go. There we go. Just get out a little bit so I can see everything. Well, as I talked about in the last one, I think we'll plant some wheat so that way we can get some straw and some wheat. And then at this point, until there's a reason to plant a specific crop, which for the cattle, if we go that route, they're not going to need it. Pigs are going to need a bunch of things, so I think we're going to open up another field someplace here after I get done placing this. So, or placing this. After I get done with the, sorry, focus time. I forgot that it stops. I mean, it's a good thing that it stops, or else you'd end up in the drink when you go to get a drink, but... Alright, so I want to come around. I like to do this. This is how I like to do all the fields when it comes to like spraying. Put a headland on there, even though we probably don't need it. I don't need to be in the water if I can't quite stop in time. And I tend to do at least or better job this way as far as getting all the corners go. Like, yeah, see, I hate when there's a little spot we can't get. Can't see through the tree. Yep, but I'm doing well enough. And I really don't need to do that headland on the top part there, just because there's no river right ahead of us. All right, well, let me do this, and then I will plant the wheat. Yeah, I see a little waste here in a sense. Cruise control on, and I'm a happy camper. You know, this is kind of what I mean about lazy farmer, when you just use the GPS. But again, it makes me precise, you know, the least waste possible. So, all right, I will talk to you guys after I get the next field cleared. So I want to do a bunch more work yet again. See what I mean? Right here will not, but like that'd be kind of close if we didn't have this big, you know, windrow going, and if that makes, or headland going. So. All right. I'm gonna have to back up. Okay, see you guys in a few seconds, and I'll probably see you over at Hog Island. Well, my fingers are sore, but I got a lot of trees cut. It's not a good day to be a tree around here, that's for sure. So if you look, there's our Harbor Island. Pretty good flat area that way, but I think it's kind of a steep hill to make a field on, but I think we'll be able to do it. So the next step will be to plow this. Well, I guess the next step is to haul all of this over there, which will take a while. But I also noticed that I'm a little bit better at the Well, a lot better at tree cutting. I'm a little bit better at this now that we have some money coming very shortly. Let's, oops, don't even know what button to hit. But I want to come in here and make this maybe a little bit bigger and try to smooth out this a little bit, especially on the other side. Because this is kind of, it's hard to see, but it's actually kind of a big hump. Kind of see where the tire tracks went goofy. There you go. Don't want to take it down too much. Oop, 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 oop. Let's get out of that view. Yeah, so let's see how the truck does over that. So I have quite a few trips ahead of me, but each trip probably represents 35 grand. And let's just see, did I fix that enough? Ah, beautiful. There's another little hump right here. All right, well, there we go. So, uh-oh, we got weeds growing. At least we got something growing. I wonder if the grass grew in the other field. I'm going too fast. Yeah, if you're going over 30, this thing is just touchy. I thought I'd show you guys at least a little bit of what I've been doing. It's been quite a few hours. You could, if you're following the time up there, you can see it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So for being a lazy farmer, doing an awful lot of work. I may have shown this in one of the first episodes, I don't know. So auto load to the left, or switch to the left, and that means it'll go to the right. You can disconnect that. And I usually just wait here while it throws them all in there for me. It kind of does that number a little bit where it keeps pushing them further in, and sometimes it takes it a little while to see. These just don't want to go the other way. There you go. So we got them all out of the truck. Sometimes it'll sit there and keep throwing them even while I'm selling them. That's about it. So you figure, you know, I got like 20 more trips, 10, well, at least I bet you 20 more trips, something in that neighborhood. And the good news is you can kind of fly back. You don't tend to flip over, so. There we go. Let's take a real quick rundown and just see if we grew some grass finally. I'm not sure if it matters if I spray that. I think I may just wait till tomorrow to spray herbicide over there. I got this thing already filled up with regular fertilizer, but I need to get it to the next growth stage before I can fertilize it. You know what? I never finished my little road connection here, did I? No, grass didn't grow yet. It should grow soon, though, I hope. Better grow soon. Alright, well, there you go. Plus, you got a little tour of what things look like at this stage. Looks like a chemical factory up this end. That doesn't hurt the truck. Alright, so switch to the right. There we go. Alright, well, let me do this a bunch more times, and then I'll plow this area. And then I'll come back and we'll decide what to do with it. Because I'm not real sure. Is this where we want to maybe... See, I don't really want to get into potatoes or anything too soon, or sugar beets would be nice, but let's see how the money is when we get done this. Sound good? Alright, talk to you guys in a minute. Nope. Harbor Island is ready to go. Well, not ready, but at least we've got it all plowed out, and I got rid of a couple stumps that I missed. Seems to be a regular thing, trying to find all those things. So, what I would like to do, because this island is not conducive to just north-south, it's really running, a little bit towards the south and to the southeast and the northwest. I'd like to set up a new course play course. Not course play, sorry. We will get to course play, just really haven't done that much field work. What I've done is gotten this guy, and I think I'm pointing, relatively straight. So what I want to do is come in here, and this is going to be, I don't even know why I have the 9-meter thing on there, but I'm going to do field 2, I don't know, plow, just so we know what it is. Then I'm going to hit create track, so we should have a new track. And that track won't have any width, so we need to give it a width, which you can do with the Alt-R. And then we're going to hit E twice, so I have a little A there, probably hard for you guys to see. I'm just going to sort of go straight across this field so that we have an angle that's, as long as possible. Like we'll have some nice long rows here. Now this, oops, let's close the lid on that. This seeder, what I want to do is seed some of this stuff in grass because it's got that, it's probably as good as it's going to get. So we'll hit Alt E again. And so if you can see our orange lines, that should give us, a reasonable representation, cut down on the goofinesses. And the reason I wanted to do that first was, as I come over here, I want to go start in that other corner. That's where we're kind of going to end up anyway. So as I go around the edge of the field, because there's that forestry, I'll call it tint, or forestry ground color, the tan color. Like this to be bordered in grass. So this is a bit of an experiment. Now another thing is, and this is another little experiment. Now let's get this guy kind of out of the way. Let's see, I don't know. Yeah, I think, here, let's unfold them. I think I'm going to try to stay really close without ending up in the pond. We'll have, we can come back later on and replant something else, so it's not like, this gives me an idea of what straight is, So in other words, to a certain extent here, we'd like to say somewhat straight. Where it makes sense. Not that it's going to make sense that many places. And then down the end, we could try to get very perpendicular. See here, I'll try to go, see if we can't go right past that tree. Now that for slick. Side, it may not be quite so slick. You know what? I think I'm just gonna. That looks pretty good. Well, nah, we're not gonna. I don't even know if we're gonna go all the way into here with. Let's spin around. I don't think there's any point in getting too far into this. me see what I'm doing. Oops, don't go that way. Head back out. So this is the kind of area that I like having the lines as we come up here. We'll sort of see what makes sense as to what we consider a straight line. You know? I'm gonna kind of do the same thing we did back there, except a little bit accurate with it. Oh, come on. So I'll just have to plop this guy down. So we'll come back over it with turn too much. With whatever crop we're going to do. Alright, now I realize I could probably just paint all of that, but it could get kind of expensive, so what I'm hoping we can do is that as it grows the grass, then we can come back and eventually permanently mark in, you know, what we want. Like permanently delete the field, and I think, according to somebody else, I forget who their name was, you know, they did something where this is how you can permanently have grass. So can we come back with that roller machine eventually and set the edges of this field with grass? But another thing I'd like to do is set ourselves up for the possibility of X. Of a road that just goes straight on across here. So I want to kind of make a road nice and straight, you know, in line with the one we have behind me. And I'll make this one bigger. It's kind of interesting what it did there, isn't it? I mean, see how that's the exact reason for planting the seed there, was because I didn't necessarily want that tan, but I guess we can shrink this down. Come over to the grass thing. Yeah, so we can. Do we want that grass, or? I don't think it makes. Yes, we do. Just in keeping with. All right, now let's go back over to the road type. And back to grass. So how much does each plop cost us? We're at $68. See, each plop is $3. So it's almost definitely cheaper to just plant the grass, I think, and let it wait and then come back later. So eventually we'll terraform. And by eventually, I mean in not the too distant future, we'll terraform it and then, be able to get on over into this area. I think that'll be the next area we attack. Like I said, it's a pretty big. We have a hill here, but there's some good flat area all along the river. Let me head this way. Can I? Oh yeah, I can. See, and especially when you get down into here, it's a nice flat area all in here. Now, also we have. Where is it? Oop. Like this is the area down by the sail point, and it's not overly flat here, but. Like there's this area right here is pretty nice one. Same thing with this one would be pretty nice too. Anyway, we'll see. Let's get escape out of this. All right, so now what I want to do is, again, this is partially just an experiment to make sure this works. But I'll come back over here and we'll plant along here. Now, this help to turn it on. Do the same thing on the other side of the road. All right, so now the question is, that's all fine and well, right? What do we do with this field? I mean, we could say do corn, and I don't think it would be too hard for us at this point to get a corn header. Curious. It's bugging me that the grass hasn't grown down here on this other field, but it still hasn't grown. And I did check. I definitely have the, what do you call it on? I have the I have that growth control, but I definitely have, planting on normal. I'm not sure if it just overrides it, but you know, I expected to take 24 hours. All I've grown is some weeds up in that other field over there, so we'll see. All right, anyway, what I'm thinking of is we don't really have a corn planter. I'd rather get, you know, we need to buy a harvester, which is going to be, you know, a good amount of money, probably 400,000. So, and then need to get the butterfly mowers, and we need to get the windrower and tedder for all that. So I don't want to go hog wild with whatever we plant in this field. So I'm not sure that we'll be in any way ready for anything. We're going to have plenty of straw coming off of that field. I don't think there's a huge benefit to planting anything in particular besides maybe soybeans or oats. We could hold on to some of them for horses. I don't want to overwhelm us with straw, but then again, maybe we could sell the straw off before the price drops. Yeah, why don't we do oats? And then we'll just end up with a boatload of straw to get rid of, you know? Alright, so I'm going to come in here and switch the type. A little cheaty, I guess. And what I'll do is, even though we have this grass border, you know, I'll start over here. You know, I'll just make a nice... You know what? Let's do Alt R. Behind the right, same width. So Control S. Yeah, I guess we already changed it to this. So now what I'll do is, just because this is off a little bit, I don't think it really makes much difference on this field. Alt page up. There we go. So that should be our first row. I don't want to mess with stay there. I don't want to mess with the grass that we had too much. Other than to see how, like, a spot like that bumps out a little bit. I don't need that little bump out in my field. If I miss a spot, I miss a spot, but so this is where we were slick earlier, except for now I gotta make a turn. I kind of missed the spot there. It's okay, as long as wherever we miss doesn't have that forestry ground texture, we'll be fine. Oop, oop, oop. And so here's where I may overplant the grass a little bit. Make that a nice swoop. Yeah, see here we'll get a little bit closer to that. Yeah, same thing here. See how it's, I don't know if you guys can see what I, you know, depends on, I guess, your quality. If you're watching it on your iPhone, you probably can't see all of what I'm talking about. But all right, now this one, that was pretty slick, huh? We'll try to come down in this corner and stop, and then now we don't have to worry quite so much. Not that we're worried, but let's come down here. Ooh. When we do this next row, you know, we got a little buffer as to where the grass is versus the other crops. All right, so there we go. So it seems like we're doing a field and episode, huh? As far as getting new fields in and getting things planted. And look, I can see a stupid stump. Oh no, that's that piece of wood. Like you get a little wedge off of the thing. I guess it's floating around the field now. So in any event, I'm going to finish this up, and I guess I'll come back when we got another stump or something up here. Am I missing on this? Yeah, I don't know what that is. That could be a wedge too. Anyway. Alright, well I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I will talk to you whenever something exciting happens. I think we may come back and build our little road over to the other section. Certainly not ready to harvest anytime soon. But I'm even considering putting taking that growth control mod off. At least for a little while, till we get the take the growth control off, at least until we get some hay and some grass going. We'll see. All right, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.